Hey, Shalom. Okay, let me give all praise, honor, and glory to our only true power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. It's the name of the Father and His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the children of Israel, people that are Negro, Latino, Native American, and Seminole Indian descent. Also Israelite foreigners who've been scattered amongst the heathen nations around the four corners of the earth that are Israelites through their father's side. Peace and shalom. So look at this. White genocide conspiracy theory. Okay, white genocide conspiracy theory. Okay. And let me begin by saying this. It's actually biblical. You know, it's actually biblical. All right, so according to the Bible, the self-proclaimed white man. I'm white. We're white. Biblically, uh, he's the Edomites. You know, his forefathers, the progenitor of their nation is Esau. And you go back to Genesis, the 25th chapter, they get a heads up on that. All right, you know, where Jacob and Esau, born twin brothers. All right, but as the scripture says, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. All right, so that's the beginning of this devil. So who, again, fast forward into these modern times, you know, labeled himself white. Now, there's plenty of videos out there explaining why this man calls himself white and calls the tribes black. Okay, and there's a spiritual meaning behind the meaning of those exact words itself. Okay, which pretty much is, you know, let's say this: there's some truth to it, but there's, but there's no truth of there's no lie that is of the truth, because this man, you know, there's nothing about this man that's pure and holy and wholesome and godly. But at the same time, the tribes are being punished, you know, by our power, you know, for not hearkening to his word and being disobedient. So you can, to a certain extent, call us black. And again, going into the definition of the words themselves. All right, where black means what? Let's just narrow down with black. You hold up, because the only one that keeps popping up in my mind is really just lifeless. You know, and I done read that years ago. But let's just look it up here. Meaning of black. Dark, man, you know. We're labeled as that negative, that negative, you know, that negative label. All negative labels, man, that you can pop. It's just, you know, black color is pigment, a member of a human group having dark skin, dark color skin. That's, hold on, making something black, blacken, refuse to handle good, undertake work, or have dealings with a personal business as a way of taking it. That's funny how it just doesn't give you the meaning. Let's go to the etymology. That's wild. That's wild. Let me go to etymology if I can find it. Black. And our people cover it and carry it, you know, pridefully. You know. And I mean as far as the negative side of the word itself. Our people, 2/3 of our people, and at one time we all, you know, carried it with honor, man. Being a low life. Black was used of dark-skinned people in Old English of coffee with nothing added, attested to. The meaning fierce, terrible, wicked. Let's keep going. The figurative sense often comes from the notion without light, and many scriptures which refer to wickedness in the scriptures as being in the dark, where our people chooses darkness rather than light, which literally is that darkness is wickedness without light, moral or spiritual. And that's exactly what the majority of our people are, where they're at mentally and physically, without light, moral and spiritually. Okay. Latin Niger have many of the same figurative sense: gloomy, unlucky, bad, wicked, malicious. And this is that stigma that continues to follow and cling to our people. Because this is where their works are. So let's get back to it. Let's not get off point here. White genocide. So, those two nations, which was separated from her bowels, Rebecca's bowels, was one nation of upright, and the other one is of wickedness. Those are the two nations which is of two different characters, two different natures, one good, one bad. Just like when you're watching a movie, and that's what's so attractive about those movies, that people are so they want to see the good guy conquer evil. They want to see good conquer evil. And that's exactly what the scriptures is all about. A nation of people who was promised a kingdom. And before we get to that kingdom, we're going to have an adversary. And that adversary is the so-called white man, who are biblically the Edomites. So at the end of this story, at the end of the scriptures, the Edomites are literally vaporized up out of existence. So this isn't a theory. And hold on, a theory. A theory. They say it's a conspiracy theory. It's always a theory. A theory is a well-substantiated, rational explanation for observed facts or phenomena, often developed through the scientific method and supported by extensive evidence. Unlike a guess. So through faith, this is where we push this prophecy through faith. That prophecy that we're pushing, that the prophets are pushing, is that this man is going into slavery first. Okay? This man is going into slavery first. Let's do this. And there's a lot of scriptures on it too. It's one of my favorite things to go into, actually. I love speaking on it, man, because there's such a push against it, and the main push comes from the actual people of the book. They have that cancer of it's called capture bonding or Stockholm syndrome. 13, 9, and 10. So first, this man has to go through, before he's vaporized up out of existence, he has to go through what we went through, and that's that the scriptures mention of that cup, that same cup that we drink of, which was going into captivity, which was being ruled over by our enemy, ruled over by a based man, a based nation. If you're not paying attention, man, then you're just straight up as that what I was reading in the dark, without light. That all this information that's coming out about this man, the cruel acts he performed on the tribes during the transatlantic slave trade, when he first came to the West Indies and took over the islands, and then touched the Americas, and then damn near obliterated the tribes, man, the Gadites and so on. And then to fast forward, the KKK, skinheads, The laws he's passed to continue to keep. He got a whole system still in place, man. That's as far as the tribes are concerned, last hired, first fired, or hey, you're not gonna get a job, period. Or what they're starting to experience now, the times of Jacob's trouble. You know, red zone laws, the Jim Crow acts, the civil rights era. You know, and it's continuing to, and now again, like I mentioned, the time of Jacob's trouble, it's continuing to get worse and worse. And you thought those eras were bad when so-called where the tribes, and mainly the tribe of Judah, was getting lynched and hung and castrated. Just wait to what the days that are coming, that are near. Again, the time of Jacob's trouble. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Ain't that beautiful? Because we're sure of that, hey, this is the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the true living power, man, that this is exactly how it's going to go down. This man is going into slavery. Psalms 149, which specifically mentions his elite, which specifically is referring to the higher ups of this base, profane, fornicating nation, the Edomites. Okay? So these things has to come to pass first before he's vaporized up out of existence. It says this here. And I'm thinking of Lamentations 4, but there's actually another one that I'm thinking of. Let me see if I have some notes here. Let's see if I got some notes. I know I do. I know I do somewhere. Hold on. Let me see what I got written down here. I got so much stuff in here. So I told apostles years ago, they've always said, and they repeat it every once in a while, man. You come to the prophets and you're especially if you're a regular and you're at those camps and you're listening to them throw down and prophesy in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man, come with a notepad and a pencil and paper, man, and take notes. That practice and habit has never, not all of us, even if we've been around for years and been laboring in this in the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, been laboring in this thing, man, for years. We're still into that same practice, taking notes, because you never stop learning. And that's another thing as far as you have to go back on those notes. That's why it's important to listen to brothers and go back to and going back to your notes, because you're constantly being refreshed. That the wisdom is constantly coming at you. And that's why I've learned through years, and that's how particular things I thought I had trouble learning and retaining. It just, again, as time went on, there's so much that I do remember. All right, because you got to remember when I first came in. And when they hit YouTube and I started listening to those videos, and because remember, before I started even listening to the apostles, I tried to read the Bible. I couldn't understand a word of it. I couldn't even understand a word of it. It wasn't my time yet. But when I first started listening to the videos, I was like, man, I ain't gonna never learn this. Because they was going down with it. But staying diligent and stay, it was the spirit, man. As you see, and how all the fruit that has risen and that's pushing the word is blossomed. And it's the spirit. There's those that the Lord wanted to continue on, and there's those that He rejected. So let's get back into this here. Don't I be rambling? That's all good though. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup, that's the cup, also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquities, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And that's the information that's coming out now. And before this devil was actually put into slavery and destroyed, he's been indicted. That's what we're reading with these scriptures. His indictment. He's been charged. His indictments is coming down. And not even secret indictments. These are open indictments coming down against this devil. So I got 21 and 22. There's notes on both of them here. Okay, Baruch 4 and 31. Let's see what that is. Baruch 4 and 31. I know what it is. Miserable are they that afflicted thee. Afflicted who? The tribes, the 12 tribes of Israel. The ones that are really beginning to catch hell now. People, brown-skinned people, so-called black people, Indians, Native Americans, the Latin tribes. And so, you see, those are the afflicted, but more specifically, the elect of these people. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. But it was the whole nation of us. All right. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. So you're witnessing now, these people feel like they have to do something to reverse the fall of this place, man. But nothing's going to change that. This is judgment that's coming down the pipe here. This is judgment. Let's see what I have under this here. Several scriptures. There we go. Isaiah 14 to 21. What's it say? Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their fathers. Psalms 109 and 14. I love that one. Psalms 109 and 14. Check this out. Let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Lord Yahweh, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them be before the Lord Yahweh continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. Oh, hold up. From the earth. What's it say there? What's it say there? White genocide conspiracy theory. But the actual word that should be there, not white, but Edomites. Edom. Idumea. Idumean genocide conspiracy theory. They can hide from it all they want. They can be in denial all they want. Esau is not the white man. A nigga. Can you imagine? That's coming out of the mouth of a nigga. Esau is not the white man. They just never quit. Let them be before the Lord continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. That's the prophets constantly putting light on this wicked world. You know, constant videos are constantly going up. It says, because that he remembered not to show mercy, referring to this so-called, referring to the self-proclaimed white man. Because that he remembered not to show no mercy, as the scripture says, it mentions a continual stroke. But persecuted the poor and needy man. For example, man, like, which a lot of them are Edomites now. Homelessness has multiplied to the point it's an epidemic, man. You know, it's gotten to the point that it's raising major concern, you know, around the world, really, but here in Babylon. But this devil's solution to the problem is lock them up, kill them, because there's reports of homeless people are coming up missing and never seen again. What the hell is going on? Hey, as the scripture says, man, the days are evil. That's why we have to be circumspect. We can't be out here as fools, living like fools, man, because they're out here thinking shit is okay, man. And as long as they ignore it, it's just going to go away. Wrong. These some evil ass times we living in. So they lock them up, man. They putting them in places like what they call alligator Alcatraz. And I reported on there's a place in Michigan in the middle of some forest, man, miles in the forest is another alligator Alcatraz, but it's not an alligator. It's not alligators around, but it's one of those the detainment centers where you know what's going on, wickedness going on, man. But persecute the poor and needy man that he might even slay the broken of heart. As he loved cursing, so let it come unto him. As he delighted not in blessing, so let it be far from him. This place is it's going to get worse and get worse and get worse. And something major deceitfully might actually happen that these people are going to think, oh, okay, we're going to turn it around. Like it says, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. Most likely it's about to throw something at them that's gonna break their spirits, man. I can't wait. But we're witnessing the fall of our enemy. So it says, let it be far from him, as he clothed himself with cursing, like as with his garment, so let it come into his bowels like water, and like oil into his bones. Let it be unto him as the garment which covereth him, and for a girdle wherewith he is girded continually. Let this be the reward of my adversaries from the Lord, and of them that speak evil against my soul. All right? So this is actually, in fact, biblical. Reading some of this, and I'm going to close with a couple more of these precepts here. The white genocide, white extinction, or white replacement conspiracy theory is a white nationalist conspiracy theory that claims there is a deliberate plot. You see how they use these things, make these things this has an actual, how do you say it, a psychological effect on people that read it, like, and because the simple believe anything, man. Oh, it's just something they just believe, and this have never happened. Oh yeah, it's going to happen. And really, it's been happening. White births are down. The so-called black man having babies with more and more white men. White men. The so-called black men have more and more babies with the white woman. Has multiplied. It's increased. As far as relationship-wise, that done blew up. That's blowing up, man. These white women they got a taste for us brothers. I've been experiencing that my whole life, man. These and I'm picky as hell. I always want the white woman that's voluptuous. I always like the white woman that's more curvy. That's me. I just got blessed, man. It's not really a blessing because most of them are, all of them are nothing but a bunch of adulterous hoes anyway. Yeah, I got to keep it real. Except the ones when I was young, popping a couple of virgins, But anyway, there's some truth to this. But you got to shed light to it to understand those truths and the falsehoods on these things. To cause extinction of white people through forced assimilation, mass immigration, and violent genocide. And they do. These white nationalists, the Edomites, man, they are worried seeing all these colored people coming across the borders, and then they ultimately seeing them become the minority. That's a legitimate a concern of theirs. But it's a concern that there's nothing they can do about it. Not a damn thing. It purports that this goal is advanced through the promotion of miscegenation, intermarriage, mass. Because my kids, the two I have with us, or three, possibly more. Anyway, I have with a snow bunny. They call them snow bunnies. They are me. And they don't acknowledge no white of their side. There's no white. Well, I don't want to take it that far. I need to correct myself on that madness. But they identify as being so-called black. All right. Look, my oldest son here. I'm starting to question that one. For real. Oh, we're going to have to sit down. But anyway, what's going on in the world is going to literally kick him in the ass and bring him back to reality, being in this goddamn world thinking shit is fine and dandy. Because you so-called got it somewhat going on. Man, the Lord's about to take everything away from these fools. You know. Because I pray for it to happen. Because, you know, it's a hope in hopes that it'll help bring them back. You know. That's all your kids. All our kids, man. Because the longer they be in this world, you know, the more likely they're going to fall into the ways of the world. Fully, you know. So it says here, with mass non-white immigration, racial integration, low fertility rates, abortions, pornography, the alphabet identities, governmental land confiscation from white organized violence, and eliminationism in majority white countries, some under some theories, black people, non-white Hispanics, East Asians, South Asians, Southeast Asians, and Arabs are blamed for the secret plot, but usually as more fertile immigrants, invaders, or violent aggressors rather than a mastermind. A related but distinct conspiracy theory is the Great Replacement Theory. White genocide is a political myth based on pseudoscience, pseudo-history, and ethnic hatred. And I would like to know which pseudoscience and pseudo-history and ethnic hatred supports that. For them to say this, you know, because this has always been, wars and hatred and division amongst these nations and amongst all the nations, all the tribes against all the heathen nations. And I'd like to see more information on this white genocide as a political myth madness. And it is driven by a psychological panic, often termed white extinction anxiety. Objective, white people are not dying out or facing extermination. The purpose of the conspiracy theory is to justify a commitment to a white nationalist agenda in support of calls to violence. But it's scriptural. It is actually scriptural. And you got these people, these white nationalists, these actual people that, you know, they do have like I said, a legitimate concern on this happening. So they do, instead of, remember, these people call themselves Christians, and they use the Bible. But there's nothing in the Bible that they can actually use, you know, and substantiate their positions where they are. Being white people above everyone, with a master race. But they use the Bible, where the actual Bible that they use is actually condemning them as a nation of people. This is beautiful times we're living in, man. It's and how Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is playing it, how Yahweh playing it, he's putting a little comedy in it. Because in this comedy, the action movies, serious dramas and thrillers, there may be something in it that may make you snicker a little bit, you know. In this movie, you actually have the enemy, the devil, claiming to be the master race, claiming to be the chosen race. When you look at it, there's a little humor to that. It's funny, man. It's actually funny. So let's go to this here. What does the Bible say about about Esau? And there's a couple of scriptures, but it's mainly Obadiah that I wanted to close with here. But I wanted to grab something else. And I think it's, let me grab Obadiah real quick. Obadiah and, let's see, is it Jeremiah? Is it 49 or 50? Let's just start here at 49. Ooh, look at that. Prophesy against Edom. And again, Edom is the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man. You know, the self-proclaimed white man. Ain't that something? A white man. I don't even need to look it up, but he calls himself white. White. The meaning morally pure. Figurative use was gracious, friendly, favorable. The colors association with royalists. The slang sense of honorable. Wow. The meaning of those races. There's no need to go any further. So look, prophesy against Edom. And the Edom's all over the planet Earth. They're amongst heathen nations. They're around the whole earth, man. Edom runs nations. Edom's in control of the banking, the money, and Edom's in control of the world's nuclear missiles and power, militaries. Edom's in control of everything. It's all the other nations that's bowing under Edom. And though these nations get tired of Edom's ass, and they're rising up now, this is goes into. These nations are finally waking up. Hold on. It says, let me see if I can find it. I don't even think it says here. I think it says Gentile. Hold on. The heathen. There you go. 12. 3 and 12. The nations will be judged. Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down. And that harvest is being ripe. Go to Matthew 13 and go into that. Come get ye down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decisions. So these nations are awakening, and they're going to come to clash against Babylon and those small hats. World War III. World War III. Prophesy against Edom. Concerning Edom, thus said the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan. For I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. The calamity is destruction. Distress, burden, calamity, disaster. And this is talking about the nation as a whole. The nation, man. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they had enough. And that's what this man has done to the earth. He's done to nations, man. He's done to the poor and needy. He's destroyed them. He's taken everything from them. And it's funny, and this is exactly what's playing out in these last days. He's taking everything from the people, man. Everything. And ain't nothing but information coming out on that. This man passing all types of laws and executive orders to. Right now, the government's shut down. I think it's still shut down. It's funny now that I mention it. Diego, 19 hours ago, the coverage the government shut down. So there's no news on it. Yeah, still shut down. And Lord willing to continue on. Lord willing that it stay shut down, until the worst has happened. Till they, hopefully they're having such success on whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. Again, we're praying for the hope, for the worst, man, for this place. So ultimately, it's going to get to that point where you know what is going to come into play. Or hopefully this devil just get desperate and we got to do the worst for it to bring it in. False flags and, false flags and whatever comes after that. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, his where he hides, through his deceit. Through his deceit, his deception, his witchcraft, his sorcery. And he shall not be able to hide himself. Now everyone knows, even his own people, man. And you got to understand that as well, that a lot of those ones that look like Edomites, a lot of them are Jakes, man, that are speaking up against this devil. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. And I like that. And he is not. I think that's referring to being destroyed as well. Not. Come to nothing. Come to naught. That's his end. He's coming to nothing, man. Leave thy fatherless children. I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. For thus said the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of that cup, remember that Lamentation 4, have assuredly drunk it, and that, we didn't have a choice. No one has a choice, man. No nation. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, Esau. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. But it's going to be double. From what he's done to the tribes, man, he's going to experience double. Because you got to understand, man, that the elect of the children of Israel, man, that's the apple of his eye. And ultimately, they all will be in the kingdom. For I have sworn by myself, said the Lord Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. And hold up. Let me do this. That's another clue. Because you look at Basra, it's a clear sign that this is that man. This is that man. Sheepfold or fortress. That's what it looks like too, Basra. This place is sick, man. Images. This is that man. Look at that. It looks like Rome, which Rome ain't nothing. America is nothing but Rome all over again. Look at that. I didn't know that was in Basra, something like that. I didn't know that. That looked like a cathedral. I didn't even know that was there. It's the first time I'm seeing this, seeing that. But hold on. This is that man. You got these, especially these college universities, man. They're football stadiums. This is that man's architecture. The signs were always there. Basra. There's some more pictures though, but got one for Petra. Basra or Petra. Scriptures mention that. Look at that there. That was the so-called white man. You know, and here in Petra and Basra, he was drinking water out the skulls of the dead, man. You know, laying next to dead bodies, having sex with dead bodies, and everything else he can put his thing in. Filthy, foul devil. Okay, so it says, for I have sworn by myself, okay. For I have sworn by myself, said the Lord Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation. And that's not talking about the actual place, because you look at the pictures I just showed you, you can see that place is desolate. It's not no flourishing market where you can go and do trade. It's a tourist attraction place. That's all it is. But it's desolate, man. So it can't be talking about the actual physical place. It's talking about the people. Hold up. I meant to do this. Just see what it's in here. A town in Edom. You see, a town in Edom. Gotcha. Basra, a place in Edom. So it's talking about the Edomites. Esau, Edom. What does the scripture say? Esau is Edom. Or, yeah, Esau is Edom. Is that Genesis 36? Genesis 36 and 8. Thus. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. And it goes through all the tribes of this heathen, this profane devil. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. Esau has been done away with. Shut up. Shut up. And for I have sworn by myself, said the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small amongst the heathen, and despised among men. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart. O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, clefts of the rock. And what are they labeled as? They're labeled what? Caucasian. And Caucasian means what? Cave dweller. That holdest the heights of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. That's why they're downtowns around the world, and mainly here in Babylon, they're downtowns with the towers, man. You know, they got the condo buildings, towers, 50 floors, 100 floors. I've been up to, and I don't know why I did it, but I went to the top of the mount of what's it called? It's in New York City, man. Oh man, what King Kong was on top of? Why can't I remember the name of the damn place? Not that first time I went to New York, the Twin Towers were there, but I didn't go in those. When I went back, they weren't. What's it called? Empire State Building. Man, you feel like you're gonna fall. They feel like that building's gonna fall over, man. You're so high up. It's a marvel in itself, man, that this devil makes his society to resemble the mountains and the hills of the caves and the mountains, man. That's a marvel in itself to be up that high. Like, damn. That itself is against the law. It says that thy terribleness have deceived thee in the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the heights of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, said the Lord. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah by fire, that's how this devil's going out, by fire. And the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong. But I will suddenly make him run away from her, and who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom. You see that? Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, all caps, that he hath taken against Edom and his purposes, that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall, and that's that fire, the nuclear missiles that's going off. He's going out by fire. And it's something those heathens, those small hats, is going to do to make kicks, to bring out the worst in this World War III, man. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle. That's beautiful. And spread his wings over Basra. This is what we're waiting for, our Lord, his return. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. You see? And that's that divine intervention. That's going to take this devil out. Again, he's not looking for that to happen anyway. It's just those elites are planning for it. So I'm going to close here with Obadiah. And I'm going to get straight to the point. The day of the Lord and the future. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. And right now it looks like nothing can, it just looks like this devil's going to continue to be here. And, not here, but, but it looks like they're going to continue to be on this planet and continue to rule in wickedness, man. But nope. Like I said, we work by faith, man. We're led with faith, man. Through the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai with faith. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And that part of our possessions is the heathen. We're going to receive the heathen as our inheritance, as the scripture says. I love those scriptures. Not going into them, though. I should. At the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. There you go. That stubble is used to keep that fire going. And they shall kindle. And the stubble is just stubble. It's A bunch of useless nothing that you use to put the fire, just to get the fire going. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. Esau. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai has spoken it. Let me read again. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai has spoken it. So, hey, there's truth here. There's truth to this. Edomite genocide conspiracy theory, huh? Okay. So let's give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakakadash, that honors the elders and apostles and bishops of Great Millstone that rule well. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.